Hey, welcome to the Cast. I am your host, Alex Kessler, here with my co-host, Michael Grothe. And this is part 3 of kind of what the world looks like in the future in the world of paper magic. This video is about kind of what does the future LGSs look like? What are LGSs going to do moving forward? The effect of secret layers on LGSs. So definitely hang out. If you missed the first 2 videos, we did a whole video on what Magic Fests are going to look like, as well as kind of what the world looks like in Magic in general as COVID opens up. And please, right now is the time to hit that like and subscribe button. And if you want to hear the whole thing all at once on Patreon right now for $5, you get the whole video feed available, and that happens a week early. So even now you get next week's as well as this week's all at once.
You also get a free standard deck tech that I did for the pre-show.
That is true. That is true.
For a standard deck that I brewed, inspired by another deck, but there's many cards that I added myself as a brew.
And Trotsky is one of them. You get a nice little squirrel god monster.
There's some Toskies in there. It's just a squirrel.
Tosky. But they're like he's more than a squirrel.
Creature type squirrel.
Yeah, but I mean like in the story. I don't know if we have too much to say about it. One announcement that was weird is that in the fiscal return, the end of or beginning of year announcement, they announced that they are looking to pull away a little bit in LGS support or like figuring out ways to do, or what was it? Do you know the announcement?
That's what was easily misinterpreted, and they like put out a statement that was like, hey, this isn't what we said. Or either some PR person on their team did, or it was official. I don't know. But he said, the CEO said that we're looking at channels beyond our network of specialty retailers, which we already know because of Secret Layers and because of Arena and because of everything. It's like Correct. They are in Amazon. They started selling on Amazon Direct and Walmart Direct and all these things, right? But that's not the same as we're pulling back. It's just we are exploring other avenues, which, capitalism, companies got to grow as much as they possibly can and explore every possible avenue. But I don't take that to mean we're pulling away from LGSs, at least not any more than they already have. And I'm hoping to see some initiatives to support LGSs. I have been on the record saying I do not think secret layers are the way to do it, because if I were an LGS, I would not know how to buy secret layers, and I do not want to buy them. Like, if Wizards was like, hey, call up your distributor and see how many OMG kitties you can get. And the distributor's like, yeah, we got plenty. You want 20? I'm like, can I sell 20 OMG kitties? God, am I missing out on an opportunity if I don't buy them? What's going on? I hate this. So I
have a question though. Would you buy secret layer cards as a store owner just the same way you buy normal cards though? Like once it's out, I guess that was my thought with them. And when we talked about it last week was.
But when a card has like a set value, so like from the vaults, we would sit on them and for a long time, right? And from the vaults were a different type of product. And I think that they need something like that, or they need like very desirable F&M promos or very desirable some sort of promos. And they have not been coming through on promotional stuff for stores. But I think that's the way to do it, right? Like something that is exclusive to a store that you can get there. From the vaults were cool because the store bought them for cheap. You would get an allocation based on like your, how many players you had and how many events you were running in a year and stuff. So it was like rewarding you for running a lot of organized play. And it's like, here's these from the vaults. We're charging you, I don't remember how much, but something like $20 or whatever. You're going to be able to sell them for like 70. So great. Here's we're going to throw you a bone. And secret layers like don't serve the same purpose to me, even if they were like, this is LGS only or whatever. We're not going to sell it online because they're too niche. I like secret layers personal. Like, okay, here's my official secret layer stance. I don't know if I've said it on here before. They're not for me. I don't foresee myself ever buying a secret layer. They're cool. Maybe if there's one that's cool enough, I'll buy it at some point. But I like that they exist because I think it's cool for Magic to kind of branch out and look at other art styles and look at like weird frame treatments. And I think it's cool that they exist. And I'm glad for people who like get their cool Godzilla lands that they're into, or their cool Titans that look like Kaldheim Titans that are dope, or their, weird metal cards with the wonky frame. Like, I think that stuff is cool, and it's a good way for Magic to branch out without putting that stuff in booster packs or whatever. But it's niche on purpose.
If they came with the Disney-themed Kumano Commander secret layer that came with a pack of Disney-themed mountains, you wouldn't be hyped.
Yeah. We'll see about that when it happens. Oh, but what I'm saying is, like, from the vaults were like broadly exciting, no matter what. They tried their hardest to make sure that there were like enough value in there that people would want it. There were like some cool reprints or stuff that had never been foiled before. Like they threw a P3K card in there just for good measure. They like tried to make sure that they were as broadly appealing as they could because they wanted them to truly be a boon to LGSs. but sometimes you just couldn't sell them by chance. Like From the Vault Angels, we sat on like 5 of them for like 3 years and barely like sold them on eBay or something for like less than MSRP. So like that's what would happen with secret layers in my opinion. Some of them would fly off the shelf and we'd be able to charge more than MSRP and it would be a great boon. But some of them would be like random stuff that is just people are not that into, and we would take the hit. Right now nobody's taking the hit. Wizards just doesn't print as many. They print them to demand. So if nobody wants them, they don't print them, and if
Right.
a lot of people want them, they print a lot of them. And that's the way to make niche cards like that, or niche.
Well, and kind of my argument was that LGSs can just buy secret layers. Honestly, the fact that it's that limited window is better for LGSs than if it was just like Wizards started selling cards, right? Because now if an LGS think it'll be popular, or if it's popular post fact, LGS can buy cards from people or buy them at like the 50% markup they normally buy staples for. And then
So once they're out, I would be willing as an LGS to buy them at market value because I have like a history, like once, and I would be nervous about buying them when they first come out, the same way I am booster pack cards, like when Kaldheim comes out, people are like, oh dude, check out my Coma, it's worth $15. I'm like, $15? I'll give you like $5 for that. Or $3. I don't think that's going to be a big thing. And I do the same thing with secret layers, right? But at least you have something to go off of, right? You're like, I can look at TCG Player, eBay, or whatever my preferred as a store method of figuring out a baseline price for a card, and I can be like, yeah, this is how much people are willing to pay for this. So it's a much safer bet for me. Also, I get the card immediately. I can immediately sell it. Now, I think there are retailers that are just buying 50 Walking Deads and sitting on them for a year and then flipping them and making a ton of money. But that's hard to do as a store because you tie up all your money in something that is risky, and then it's like it's not a great way to be a store, right? You need to get stuff in that is pretty easy to sell, and you need to sell it. Like you're not an investor, you're a store.
But isn't there like a benefit? Because like for a while there, standard sets were just so bought that like most standard staples weren't worth that much. So the buying and selling of standard staples was not the most profitable business. But having this much wider number of decently valued, cool promos that you can kind of buy and sell to people, isn't that like something in the market that would generally be beneficial to LGSs?
No. I mean, I haven't worked in an LGS since Secret Lair came out. Maybe I'm wrong about this, but my guess is that like the existence of more cards that could be worth money is not. There's 20,000 cards that you can buy and sell. I don't need an extra 100 a year, like what's the difference? Like, yes, maybe somebody comes in and buys that cool alternate art mimeoplasm or whatever, but like if that alternate art mimeoplasm didn't exist, I would have just sold them a regular one, or maybe they would have saved their money and bought an Earthcraft or something instead. I don't know.
I mean, I do know in response to the episode we did about The Walking Dead that we did get a lot of feedback that was like, Walking Dead has been great for the store, partially because this was Magic product I could buy to appeal to my comic book audience as well, right? Like it was something that they were able to.
That's a special. Like the licenses are weird as a retailer because we were a comic book store. I would have looked into maybe buying some for the shop, but like taking Walking Dead out of the equation.
Well, but that's part of the future of the conversation.
Licensing is a part of the future of the conversation. That is definitely true.
I think one of the things that is interesting, one of the reasons that reaction was so bad is because people were already mad at Secret Lair due to the relationship with them in LGSs. Except that Walking Dead might have been the best one for LGSs since these have started because of the second comment of that, like, this is a product for a wider audience than just Magic players because you could sell it to comic book stores, etc.
I mean, I don't want to rehash the Walking Dead issue because I can tell you why there are more reasons than that people are mad. But yes.
Well, yeah, we did. These were based on comments that we got after the episode. That we did a whole episode last week where we talked about it. I don't want to talk about it now either.
Sure. If you would like to rebut all the YouTube commenters on air this week, I'm gonna have to sit out because I wasn't on the episode and I also didn't read any of the comments.
It's you don't have to. It's fine. What I will say is, and this was something that was brought up on our Discord, was that the thing I like about Secret Layers are their League of Legends skins. Their Apex skins.
Yes, I like that. And like when a League of Legends skin pack comes out, like the Battle Academy skins that are coming out soon or whatever, and I'm like, I do not care for anime, and these do not appeal to me. Fine, I don't care. So I have my friends who I talk about League of Legends with are all like, oh, this is so sick, dude. Caitlyn's gun is also a sword, dope. And I'm like, yeah, cool.
Yeah.
And that's how I feel about secret layers, right? Like for the most part, they're not for me. And I think it would kind of take a lot for them to be for me because I like my cards to have a consistent aesthetic. So like I play all modern border cards in modern. I don't like to be like, oh, my ops are old border because they don't match. It's not right.
Yeah.
Although the Japanese Mystic Archive ops may be my new go-to ops. We'll see. But because that's cool enough to me, right? Most stuff is not cool enough to me. But a secret layer could come out that's cool enough for me.
Yeah.
But I do not foresee myself being that interested in them, and I have not been interested in one yet. But
right. I mean, you would need a thing that you like to come out that is a secret layer that is on a card that you also like.
Yeah, I find myself enjoying a lot of corners of Magic. Like I enjoy casual play and Commander. I enjoy competitive play and Draft and Modern, and I enjoy like, you know, the social aspect of talking with people and, you know, hanging out with my friends, and I enjoy the art and the story. Like I enjoy a lot of aspects of Magic, but collector is not one of them for me.
Sure.
Like I have a very small collection. I sell all of my draft like my draft rares, and I buy modern staples with that money, and then I have like a small binder of modern staples, and that's it.
And that's fair. And I am not a collector, but I like cool alternate art things in the sense that like as soon as I start liking a character in League of Legends, I buy a skin. I've bought in a few of these secret layers because I want the cool white bordered Tybalt or the dope Mimeoplasm.
That was the April Fool's thing, right?
Yeah, so they replaced it was Squire originally, but it was using problematic
we don't need to go
that I don't need to get into.
I knew about the Squire issue, but I didn't know if the set was actually real. I don't know anybody who has one.
I bought one. I didn't buy that April Fool's thing. I bought the Tybalt afterwards because I have a red Planeswalker deck, and I'm currently playing the Mystery Boosties Tybalt. For damn sure I'm going to find the white border Tybalt to play in it. And
Mystery Boosties
right?
Tybalt is also dope.
That's why I like all of the secret layers from that perspective, right? I am the audience. I like random cool artwork on things, and I like that they're reprintable and you don't have to chase after them. So back to kind of the point of what this was like kind of the future of LGS is I do think that it's going to be interesting to see how they open it back up, right? Like with COVID happening, and hopefully, unless society collapses upon itself, reopening and everyone going back to LGSs.
LGSs are tricky because it is not centralized. Wizards does not get to tell your LGS what to do. All they can do is restart in-person organized play. And when they decide to do that, who knows? Because right now, stores are not allowed to run like official Wizards tournaments in store. They're only allowed to run them over Spell Table or Arena. My LGS is doing that, which is cool. I have played in a couple of Arena events. So Wizards will eventually turn the faucet back on, but that doesn't mean as much as like LGSs will open whenever they feel like it. And I am sure that there are LGSs in some parts of the country that are already open, and you can go there and you don't have to wear a mask, and there are no laws. So whatever. But yeah, I mean, like it's already happening. It's going to continue happening, and people, LGSs are going to open up for in-store play as they see fit. And Wizards telling you can run an FNM or not is not going to stop them, you know?
And I do think, like, kind of on a recommitment to LGSs from Wizards, that's what Time Spiral Remastered was, right? Like, that is not being printed in Arena. That was a set that they developed and designed for LGSs. They delayed it as long as they could so that it came out at a point where it was great for LGSs. Same as Mystery Boosters were a product developed specifically for GPs and conventions. And the response to it, at least from a public perspective, has been extremely positive. I think that sales are going to be interesting, but I think even if sales aren't good, Wizards will be able to, like, COVID happened, like it's hard to take any in-store dependent products sales numbers right now as seriously as you normally would.
I wish that were true, but you know that.
Oh yeah, well yeah, that's a different conversation.
You know that from being in the toy industry, that is not always the case.
That is true.
I wish that were true. I wish that you could be like, yes, but clearly nobody bought this product because your store was closed for 3 months. But that is not the case.